Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
JP Peterson Show. What is up, my friends out there, you Tampa Bay sports nutballs? We got so much to get to today. Gosh, it's National Signing Day. Devin White is still an idiot. Todd Bowles does not know how to handle it. We got Peter Blake on today, who's bringing the noise with Jake Paul and Jay Buck, who got his ball taken away from him in Green Bay. We got FSU loading up on more recruits. We got the Gators losing recruits. It's going to be total chaos on the show today. No question about it. Good morning to you, Peter Blake. How are you?
Good morning, buddy. How you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Yeah. We get to check in with you on Wednesdays and find out what's going on in your world, your crazy world that you live in with Jake Paul and your Rolex, and you got to enjoy some good Orlando traffic this weekend. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, I would say the traffic was it took actually longer to get to the fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Itself.
Yeah. The fight wasn't very long, huh?
No, about 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and then it was over. Knockout City. Actually, the intro was interesting in itself because he came out to a Christmas-themed deal, and he was doing the Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, which was interesting in itself with his brother Logan Paul. That was actually longer than the fight.
Well, it always is.
Yeah.
So he wasn't wearing an elf costume?
He was not wearing an elf costume, but he was wearing a costume.
Who would do that to entertain the people?
Well, you did last night.
I did. I did.
It worked out for the Lightning and their Lightning favor. So I would say you need to go on the road and dress like an elf, or I don't know what you need to dress like so they can avoid those.
Well, you think Stamkos' contract is going to be expensive? You know what it would cost them to put me on the road in an elf costume?
Oh, well, I was going to say Kucherov, but yeah, I mean, pay whatever you got to. And listen, they're not the Tampa Bay Rays here. Jeff and I understand it because I didn't even know this. Derek Brooks is still a part of the Lightning organization.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big part. Yeah, absolutely.
They're so great. You got the great.
We want winners.
Yeah.
Winners. We got winners all up and down the organization. That's why they win championships and spend money and can commit to the community and have a well-located stadium and a great stadium. And the Rays have the Rays. But we're not going to talk much about the Rays today because they're busy having their club torn to pieces and trading away their best players and getting below a $40 million payroll so Stu can stuff some more money into his pocket. And if anybody wants to cheer for that, you go right ahead. Not interested.
You're done with that. That's it. It's over with. You're not.
I mean, they're Peter.
We got prospects. They're
a punchline at this point. And the fans that line up when they make these trades and tell me how great it is and how wonderful it's going to be and how how savvy they are financially and and Glass now is going to be hurt and we can't. Like it's your money, it's your money.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm over it. You guys keep chasing the moon and the stars and you're never going to catch them because you're never going to catch up with prospects. And all he does is trade great players for prospects that are cheap, that'll keep him competitive and have meaningful games in September. And so you stooges still think that he's trying to win a World Series when all he's doing is stuffing his pockets with your money. And the Major League Baseball's money. And the other owners have caught on to it. Hopefully the team will be sold here soon. And this debacle of an idea in St. Petersburg, which is already getting destroyed by council members who are finally stepping up and realizing what an absolutely ridiculous use of public funds this is. They can have it. It's just it's ridiculous. You're going to spend $1.2 billion in public funds for a stadium that nobody's going to go to. We're not going down that rabbit hole. All right, let's get going this morning with our good friend Devin White. And here we are, Peter Blake.
Mm-hmm.
3-game win streak. The Bucks have their NFC South destiny in their hands. The odds-on favorite to win the division after being 4-7, playing like dog crap at Indianapolis, and the same old stuff, the same old tired Todd Bowles 1985 philosophy in coaching, not using your timeouts, not challenging, just sitting there, and Baker Mayfield hurt, can't play, can't get out of the pocket, can't throw down the middle of the field, can't do it. I'm like, I'm done with these guys. If this is the way you're going to play, you've lost 6 out of 7, and this is the way you're going to coach. No accountability, sticking Devin White out there because, he's Devin White. It's like, what is this? And then slowly they find their way back, all the way to a point of watching them play against Green Bay. I'm like, what team is this? Baker Mayfield is hitting his back foot and ripping passes over the middle of the field with great precision. Guy hitting guys on the run, streaking down the field. Rashad White's running through screen passes and scoring. And I mean, just like what team is there scoring 34 points a game, 4th down, for 5 minutes left in the game, and the coach is going for it? And he made it. Oh my God, salted away the game. And then blitzing late in the game.
What?
It's instead of rushing 3 and letting the quarterback just walk down the field, CJ Stroud. Like, who are these people? You finally figure out how to play in this league if you're going to win in this league. And what do? You go right back to protecting a player who you should have traded and kicked the hell out of here when I told you to before the season started. Did we not come on this program, Peter Blake, and beg the Buccaneers to get rid of this guy before the season, in the offseason? He's not a good player. He hasn't been a good player for a long time. He's a selfish player. All he cares about is him. And he proved that with his stupid ass, this
cryptic garbage social media that's been consistent with White. I mean, that's probably more consistent. That's probably as consistent as
the only consistent
tackles.
thing.
Yeah, well, it's not the only consistent thing. His lack of play on the field is probably consistent this year, and also, trying to, tackle people. That's also been non-tackling. I mean, it's disappointing, and you're exactly right. We talked about in the offseason, would it be a distraction? And he's a defensive leader of this team. You would think that it was to a certain degree. And if you could trade him now, looking back at it, hindsight, it's 2020. But Jason Light, Todd Bowles to a fault, decided to go with him because he felt like, he's close to him. He would work in his defense. When Devin White is playing, which he hasn't really played since 2020's postseason because his game has regressed. I mean, it's a disaster, and it's exactly what you don't need when you're trying to run the table. And if I'm Todd Bowles, instead of defending the guy, and I understand why he's doing that because he's going to defend his player, bench his ass. Keyshawn Johnson, his ass. Get him out of here. He's a distraction to that locker room. He's going to ruin that locker room. Right now, you have to go with the players that are playing for you hard, and that's KJ Britt. KJ Britt has been a better linebacker than Devin White in the last 2 to 3 games. Period.
Balling. And the worst part about it is, so Devin White, practices fully on Thursday and Friday, and is told, on Sunday, not Friday or Saturday, like Todd Bowles lied to us on Monday, and says, no, I'm not a rotational player. I mean, who does that? And by the way, the guy that's starting is better than you and is proven to be better than you, but you don't want to be a rotational player. I mean, I can't think of anything more selfish that a player could do. And I'm here to tell you, Todd Bowles sitting up at that podium saying what he said has pissed off everybody in the locker room. You want to lose your team, you keep backing this guy. And you're asked if KJ Britt is going to start, when Devin comes back, and he's like, we'll see. What? We'll see. We'll see. Here's a guy, KJ Britt, that's done everything you've asked him to do, patiently waited his turn, sat there in the film room watching Devin White get steamrolled every week by every offensive tackle and guard and rookie in the league, going, man, I could certainly play better than that. And everybody's watching the same tape saying, what the hell is Devin White doing? And yet the coach still goes out there and says, oh, he makes plays I haven't seen in 30 years. He makes posts I haven't seen in 30 years, but not plays.
Right.
So Devin White puts his cryptic thing up on his Instagram last night and says, and it's like a question, what motivates you more than anything? And the answer is disrespect. Oh, you've been disrespected. Respect is earned, my friend, and you ain't earned it. And then at the bottom it says, and just like that, we back. Built a story, but didn't ask the main character any information. Where they do that at? Upside down, smiley face, prayers. What you won't talk, Devin. Everybody's asked for your comments, but you won't talk. Are you going to talk today? Are you going to face the music today and tell us what happened? What cockamamie story are we going to get this time? And Todd Bowles is part of the problem. I want to sit here and be lauding Todd Bowles for his great coaching at Green Bay and the way he's rallied the troops to bring him back. I think it's more about the players than the coach. I think they're winning in spite of the coach, to be quite honest. And I'm not trying to be mean. I love Todd Bowles personally, but I'm talking about the way he's handled Devin White and the way he's handled this situation. And by throwing gas on the fire on Monday, why don't you just sit up there and go, I had a conversation with Devin White. He didn't want to play. And so we sat him down and we will reevaluate moving forward. Blah, blah, blah. And there'll be questions. And you'll say, we're going to reevaluate moving forward. Blah, blah, blah. That's the end of it. I'm not going to have a distraction on this team moving forward when we won a 3-game. The focus should be on Baker Mayfield, this offense, this defense, the way we played the last 3 weeks. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about Devin White. We're going to handle this internally, and I'll let you know when we make a decision. Next question. And everybody in the media would go, okay, good. You're taking a stand. You didn't have to say anything bad about the kid. You didn't have to say anything. And all the questions that keep coming out say, guys, with all due respect, we're going to handle this internally. And when we figure out what we're going to do, we'll let you know. What's wrong with saying that? Say, we want to put the focus on the team. Instead, you've created this ridiculous firestorm. I mean, personally, I would have put him on the inactive list or the injured list and got him the hell out of there. Do whatever list I could possibly do and say, go count your money and go get ready for free agency. You're not needed around here. But we're not going to release you to go play with somebody else. We're not going to release you to go, go out there and do all your stupid shenanigans. And I'll remind you, Devin, and maybe your agent should remind you as well, that all your little petulant garbage that you're doing right now on social media makes you toxic to any other team in the league. I don't care how good you think you are and how fast you think you are. And by the way, you're not that good. You're fundamentally flawed. You don't play for the team. You play outside of the team. It's all about you. Everybody knows that. Nobody wants that on their team, by the way. Nobody. It's the way you've done this to yourself. I mean, there's so many ways you can handle this as a professional football coach and a team. And the way they're handling it is just straight garbage. So let's listen to Todd Bowles from yesterday. The give and take with Scott Reynolds, Greg Auman, and some of the other reporters about what went down. And the reason they're asking these questions is we all know what went down. Richard Sherman has told us, Rick Stroud has reported on it. I've heard from inside the organization, this is what happened. And to stand up there and say what Todd Bowles said it's just silly. But here's what he said.
The Devin White situation. You told Devin yesterday that KJ Britt was going to start. And
did I?
I think you did.
No, I didn't.
You did not.
Devin told me Friday he couldn't play, or Saturday or Friday he couldn't play, so KJ was starting. That was the end of it.
It wasn't in response to that.
No.
Is KJ Britt your starting linebacker moving forward, or is it Devin White?
When Devin gets healthy, we'll rotate the players and see how it goes.
Were you surprised that Devin said he couldn't go, considering he had been practicing up to that point?
No, not surprised. I get guys all the time. I mean, Hayes got sick on the bus. He couldn't play. I mean, you go with a guy's gut. If he tells you he can't go, you go with the next guy and you play.
Yeah. Stacey Dales reported before the game from the NFL Network that this was not injury related. Rick Stroud got the same information from team officials. The guys at Pewter Report got the same information from team officials. The team officials I've spoken to have given me the same information. The players, I spoke to 2 players, and even though they're not going to say anything publicly, they're just like, yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Well,
and
Richard Sherman
yes.
came out and said something the other day about it.
Played with Devin White, and many of the players on this team.
Right.
Has their cell phone numbers, talks to all of them. Yes. He said the same exact thing.
Now,
So,
did you see what Booger had to say? Booger McFarland. He said, "When did professional football players decide that just because their playing time was cut, they're just not going to play? Man, this is a job that a lot of people would love to have. If you want more playing time, put it on tape." And if you look at the tape, and I say this on my show, a lot of people say it on their show. Men lie, women lie, but tape doesn't lie. And the lie right now is the tape right now is ridiculous for this player. I mean, it's not good. He's not a first round player. He's not a fifth overall player. He's not playing like that. He's not playing like a top linebacker in the league. No. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be here. He's checked out. Somebody asked the question, whose fault is it? Is it Todd Bowles? Is it the front office? Listen, I think Jason Light gave White the benefit of the doubt. And Todd Bowles felt like, this is the guy that's going to work on my defense. He's going to fit the best. If we trade him away, maybe we rock the boat. Maybe we don't necessarily have what we have here right now. And if he could have gotten an opportunity, but any way it goes, if you get rid of White in the offseason, because most likely you're going to turn the page on him, you still got a third round pick, a comp pick.
If somebody signs him to a big deal.
Right.
And I think that's it only takes one stupid team, and he's, nationally renowned. So, yeah, it might happen. But, the tape is so bad. I just don't see any defensive coordinator putting the tape on and he's going to go, once they put the tape on, they're going to go, wow, I saw a lot of the splash plays, but I don't watch their tape every week. And, that guy can't play for me. No way. There's not a linebacker coach in the league that will. I mean, sometimes coaches will be like, oh, I can fix him. We'll get him back to 2020 Devin White. We'll get him back. The guy's unfixable because he's uncoachable. He's going to freelance and do whatever the hell he wants. He's proven that it's all about him. The team. It's not about the team. It's about him and his celebrity. The dude's cuckoo. And as who was it that put this in here as we go to some of the comments here?
Lots of comments too, by the way.
Basically saying, how do you think Evans and Levante David feel right now? They're pissed. I'll tell you exactly how they feel. They're pissed, and especially of Levante, because Levante has taken this cat under his wing and spent a lot of time trying to mentor him and teach him how to be a professional, and it's all for naught. It's a waste of time. Dude's a waste of time. He is the anti-Levante David, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch this whole thing play out. And the fact that it's happening while we should be talking about this 3-game winning streak and how great this team played this past week, we're not, because this is on Todd Bowles. This is on Todd Bowles, and I just laid it out for you in the JP Peterson media training guide. It says right there, end the conversation. You are in charge of the conversation as the coach. You are the person being interviewed. End the conversation. You have the power. We're going to handle it internally. And when we do make those decisions, I'll let you guys know. And I'll let you know how everything played out. But right now, we've got a game to focus on. We've got, I got a bunch of other players that are balling and doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we're going to focus on them. I know you want to know about Devin White and all that stuff, but, there's a lot of things that go into these situations in terms of salary caps and compensations and competitive balance and competitive edge, all these things that we have to work on. And we're just not going to talk about it at this time. And I'll let you know when we make a decision. I'm not going to take any more questions about it. I appreciate you guys asking, but we're done with it. Next question. And if they keep asking, you just laugh at them. Just disperse it with laughter, Coach. Sorry, guys. Doesn't matter. We're trying to focus on the game. Sorry, guys. Not talking about it now. You'll find out when we figure it all out. Sorry. And I'm telling you, especially our media, we're not going to sit there and yell at the guy. Number one, I'm first going to go. I'm going to stand up and give him well done, Coach. You took control of the situation. Instead of letting Devin White run your team like you had the past 2 years, you took control. Congratulations. Your teammates and the fans and everybody else really appreciate that. That's what a head coach does. He doesn't come to the media and try to I don't know what the hell he thinks he's accomplishing. I think most of the time, and this is unfortunately part and parcel to many of the coaches. Coaches think fans, and for the most part, fans don't know. And in media, we're not, we don't know everything. but they just think we're stupid. Like we're really, really stupid. Like we can't turn on a tape and see how bad the guy plays. Like we can't, look at our social media and see the stupid things he's putting up there. Like we can't, everybody else in your organization is telling Stacey Dales and Rick Stroud and everybody else different things, and Richard Sherman, and you're sitting up there telling a bold-faced lie. And like, we're going to like, oh, okay. No. Come on, man. Gosh, it's like we're dumb, but we're not that dumb. And this is what it leads to. So I don't want to take up the whole show because there's a lot of other stuff to get to. But to me, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this whole thing plays out today. And if someone in this organization is going to be an adult in the room and take control of the situation instead of letting Devin White control the situation. And it's readily apparent that guy don't give a rat's ass about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All he cares about is get live 45. And I'm not here for it.
Wow, we got comments from Twitter too. Look at this. I haven't seen this before. Wow. Okay.
What do we got?
We got Giddy Up out there on 45. Giddy up out of the damn
falling out of here. I love that.
Yeah. Head coaches really need to take course on how to hold press conferences. It's a big part of their job. Look at Canales. He's more polished than Bowles is. I mean, do we want to go through all these comments at this point, and we want to wait because
let's go ahead.
Okay. All right, let's go out there. Welcome, JP. All right, thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you. J Buck posted he got to keep the ball. We got more of that coming up here because he was on the Sports Web on Monday night. More detail of that. It's time to get back to work. Let's get it. You don't like Bowles' version of Dungy Ball. Tell you right now, on Sunday, that wasn't Dungy Ball. And I really
it was
felt
not.
like they set the tone with Canales with coming out and Baker going 7 for 7, but getting him comfortable, coming out and passing the ball instead of running the ball on first down, which is what they've done throughout, the season, coming out and passing the ball, getting, Baker that confidence. And to me, that confidence snowballed throughout the game because when you start out 7 for 7 and just let Baker rip it, don't be afraid to throw an interception.
Well, Baker's the guy that was holding back, in my opinion.
Right.
I'll be interested to see what he has to say today as to, because he's never really good right after the game. He's very cliche, which is fine. That's what it probably should be. You don't want emotions to get the best of yourself. But I think we'll learn, and then from Canales as well, that, just let it go, man. Let it go. We're at the point now where we're not going to beat teams, especially on the road, unless we score points. And the only way we're going to score points is if you start letting it go in tight windows and see what happens. If you throw a pick, you throw a pick. I don't care at this point. You got guys are open. You got to pull the trigger because he hasn't been pulling the trigger. And he did this week, and it was great. And I'm here to tell you, if he keeps playing this way, he's going to throw picks. He's going to throw picks, but he's also going to throw touchdowns. And if you're going to throw 4 touchdowns and mix a pick in there, I have no problem with it. As I said yesterday, 4-1 is fantastic. 4-2, I'll take it. 4-3, no good. But 1 touchdown pass and no interceptions, you ain't going to beat anybody like that. If you want to play safe, you're not winning anything big. 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception, not great, but I can live with it. 3-1, I can live. 3-1, I'll take all day long. But guys that just 0-0, 1-0, and are throwing 18 touchdown passes a year, you ain't winning squat like that. You ain't winning squat. I don't want you being Jameis Winston. Don't get me wrong, but you can't. It's very difficult to win in this league throwing for 1 touchdown a game. It doesn't. You got to score points. And the way Baker was playing, we weren't scoring points. You got to absolutely Todd Bowles was part of that. And I think Todd Bowles finally said, all right, Dave, go do what you're going to do. Just call the game. You don't have to run it up the middle 17 times. Let's go. And it worked. And it worked.
Well, and by the way, who made the decision to put Chris Godwin in the slot? Because you need to keep him. And
exactly.
He needs to be there all year long. That's his natural position. You saw more of that on Sunday, and hopefully you could see, more of that against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Raymond James Stadium, a late game, which everything is on the line. And I tell you right now, a lot of Bucs fans were down on Todd Bowles and this team, and I get it. I understand it. But the Bucs could be the hottest team coming into the postseason. Of course, they got work in front of them with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Saints, and, of course, the Panthers. But these are all winnable games, JP. And then on top of it, furthermore, Trevor Lawrence may not even play in this game because he's in concussion protocol. So everything may be aligning right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And let's just look into my crystal ball here, because sometimes it's broken right here on the JP Peterson Show. Let's just say they get the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round. You feel good about that matchup because you played them before. You were in that game to a certain degree. Philadelphia didn't blow them out. And the way Philadelphia is playing right now, you would think the Bucs would have the advantage, because it's usually the hottest teams coming into the postseason always have the advantage. You can run the ball, you can play defense to a certain degree, and you get a guy who's not turning over the ball. That favors the Bucs.
Look, that's 100% correct. Trevor, this is a team they can beat now, even with Trevor Lawrence in there. I don't think the Jags are all that great. And the Saints game obviously is the key, and that's going to be a tough game. Look, the Bucs have done nothing yet. This is a season that could end 10-7, and dare I say, I was looking at the schedule this week, because the Dolphins have, who was it? The Bills.
Could be a loss.
Yeah, they've got three. They got three very tough games, and all very losable games for the. And I'm not sold on the Dolphins, but the Dolphins and the Bucs could end up with the same regular season records.
Yeah.
If the Dolphins lose, they're 10-4, and they've got three losable games ahead of them. And they got Dallas, the Bills at the end of the year, who smoked them earlier, and one other tough game in there. And the Bucs have 3 games they can win, and they can get to 10-7. And if that's the case, Todd Bowles keeps his job. They win the NFC South. They got a home playoff game against teams right now that don't look all that great. As you mentioned, Philadelphia has issues. They've got major issues. We just saw the Bills steamroll and give everybody a blueprint on how to beat the Cowboys. And that's just run right at them and run right at Micah Parsons. Yeah, you just – so there's, who's left in the NFC? The 49ers. They have the home field and go – but strangely enough, the Bucs were competitive against the 49ers this year, even when they were playing bad football.
Yes.
So I'm like, wow, Brock Purdy goes down. Who knows? Who knows in this crazy-ass league what can happen? But the key to the whole deal is get rid of the Devin White saga. Take control of that and stop letting that be a distraction. That's first and foremost. And as Greg DeCruz just put on, it needs to end today. It needs to end today. And he's absolutely right. You got a game to play. You got 3 big games to play. I don't want this lingering over this team. It needs to end today, the Devin White saga. However you're going to do it, it's got to end. And now keep playing aggressive football. We score 15 points a game at home because Todd Bowles goes into a complete shell at home. Sling that football around. Keep trying to score points, throwing the ball down the field. If Baker throw picks, so be it. But you got to be uber aggressive. You got to continue to be uber aggressive in your 4th down calls. I would like you to be more aggressive with your timeouts, please, and try to steal that possession at the end of the first half. That would be nice for once in a freaking life. Challenge things, be aggressive. And if Todd Bowles can do those things, I think they got a shot. They got a really good shot to win the NFC South and maybe even a playoff game and save his job. If he goes back into turtle mode, you got nothing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some other stuff here. Tell me about the Jay Buck story real quick.
Well, Mike Evans scores the first quarter touchdown, and one of the super fans who's been a Bucs fan for a long time named Jay Buck is in the stands. He's running down. He gets the ball from Mike Evans. He gives him daps. He explains it. And it looks like the security guard is about to take him away, take the ball away. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out to Jay Buck and what he had to say, explain the story. It's about 5 minutes, but it's good stuff here on the JP Peterson Show. Here we go.
All right.
So the Bucs was driving on offense, and of course, in my mind, I'm like, what if Mike can get one? If Mike get one, I'm going to try to get this ball. Literally 2 seconds later, Mike running up the field, break inside the end zone. Baker finds him, makes the connection. So at that point, I immediately
you wearing the Evans jersey?
Ran down in my red boots, ran down the aisle. I was sitting 5 rows up behind the north goalpost, and then while I was coming down, if anybody that's ever been to Lambeau Field, they kind of have this white rail kind of at the end or at the forefront, of the front row. So where I was sitting, that rail was actually the entrance for individuals, entering to and from the field. So there was an opening there, which when I ran down, I was using that rail to try to support me leaning over to reach out for the ball. Well, I did not know that the rail was not secure.
Oh, no.
So by me leaning over the rail, I ended up falling past the entrance, which of course is an area that's not permitted to fans. So all of that simultaneously happened while Mike was coming to give me the ball. So when Mike handed me the ball, he was trying to make sure that, one, I was okay. And that's where I ended up giving him what we call it a dap, or giving him a high five or whatever. So all of that happened at the same time while the security guard was trying to take the ball. So to answer your question, what he said was, "Hey man, you good? Are you all right?" Because I'm assuming that he noticed that I fell while trying to get the ball. Even when I got the ball, it was a portion of it that did not, go over so well. So I will start off by saying, that the security guard was doing his job. Fans wasn't allowed to, have the ball or whatever the case. So while he was trying to take the ball, of course, he was the security guard. There was a police officer down on the field. So he kind of, cued the police officer, to intervene. So when the police officer that was on the field, or sheriff, whatever his position was, when he intervened, he kind of, explained to the security guard that, well, a player actually, gave me the ball, which, allowed me to have access to keep the ball. So what I've learned that typically, just so it just so happened that, say, for example, if it was an extra point or a field goal that actually went in the stands, then the fan would be permitted to return the ball. But I guess apparently if a player actually gives you the ball, that, opens, the opportunity for the fan to possess the ball. So that then turned into the security guard, requesting for me to be escorted out of the stadium because at the time he was, under the impression that I entered a zone that was not permitted for fans. So Green Bay fans being absolutely amazing,
awesome people.
Was letting the security guard know, like, no, he did not purposely access that area. He literally tripped and fell, in that area. He was not trying to enter the area, So shouts out to the Green Bay fan base that was over in section 101 and 102 that actually spoke up and defended me in that moment. I will say, I won't say exactly what Mike said on the field. However, I will say that Mike Evans defended me as well. I will say that much. Football left my possession is when I had to put my stuff through TSA. That's it.
Awesome.
Other than that, me driving my rental car from the hotel to getting gas to the airport, that ball was in my possession the entire time. Me walking through security, that ball was in my possession the entire time.
Yep.
If I didn't have to put it through TSA, through security, I literally would have went through, holding the ball. When my stuff got through security, the very first thing I grabbed was that ball. When I walking through the airport to my gate, I could tell you gate with D43, I had the ball. So while riding on a plane, I had the ball. Going to the bathroom, this ball will not leave my possession anytime soon. Excuse my language. Excuse my language, but goddamn it, it's goddamn Mike Evans.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Thank you. And of course, that's yours truly, Harry the Greek, and Rock Riley at the time. Rock Riley got him on. He wanted to stay on, ask some questions. So we had Jay Buck and great Bucks fan, does a lot of great things, and he's always, in those promotions when it comes to being a Bucks fan. He's a great one right there. And I remember meeting him in 2017 doing radio out at Ferg's, and him wanting to get into that and asking me, what's the key thing to do? And I said, be yourself, man. And he's always been himself. And
well, that's a great moment, and as cynical as I've become about professional sports and even college sports now, it's great to see moments like this where fans become part of the game, and they create a moment and a memory for Jay Buck that will literally, be one of the greatest moments of his life. And Mike Evans has done that for so many people on and off the field. And those are the moments that you really cherish. The rest of it turns my stomach most of the time, but those are great moments. And it's great to hear somebody so excited about that and see that whole thing go down. That's good stuff. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into National Signing Day. There's some news there. There may be some news on the Devin White front. We'll get to that. I'm getting some text messages here. Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us at 10:45 to talk about last night's Bolts game. Dan Lucas just jumped in. He'll be on at 11:15. We'll get his thoughts as well. Lots more coming your way. Jake Paul, all kinds of cool stuff here on the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Give Scott Jeeves a call over there. He's probably in his office in St. Pete or Tampa today. He's got 2 offices. He's local, supports the community. They'll call you back. Get the personalized attention that you so richly deserve. That's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3. Those stuffy, overpriced sports bars will come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the Patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the Patio.
Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com, or call 813-485-6808.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Synovus Bank. If you're looking to get a new business bank relationship going or personal banking relationship going, Synovus is a great option, a local option too. My good friend John Acosta, who I've known for over 40 years, is one of the managers over there and has been in local banking since 1983. And that's why they hired John, because he has great relationships with local folks here. And if that's what you're looking for, a bank, a big bank that can do everything you need them to do, all the complex transactions that they can do, but also treat you like a small local town bank, that's what Synovus does. So go to synovus.com, get the local branch near you, head on over there and tell them JP sent you, and ask for John Acosta. If he's not there, somebody just like him will be happy to help you. It's the big bank with the local flavor. It's Synovus. All right, a couple other this Devin White topic is not going away, folks. And I believe somebody just sent me this. The Rick Stroud posted that he believes that it's all going to be rainbows and lollipops today. With my words.
Can you imagine if this were New York media?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine?
And I'm not just saying anything. It's not against Rick. I mean, that's what he's hearing,
right?
And he's probably right. That's what they're going to try to do. It's just like, oh, nothing to see here. Devin's fine. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's right. I think that's how they're going to try to play it. And let me see if I can get the exact quote. Yeah, here it is. 34 minutes ago, he said, I expect the Bucs who harmoniously have nothing but positive vibes around Devin White today. I don't know if he will be available to the media, but I gather attitudes are attempting to change. We will see what the day brings. I think he's probably right. This is what they're going to try to do, and I think it's misguided. I would because he's going to continue to put stuff out on social media. He's going to continue. And how do you trust him? If you're a teammate, how do you trust that he's going to watch tape, and which he never does? I shouldn't say that. How do you know he's going to play smart? He hasn't before. How do you know he's not going to go freelance? Like, you've won 3 games without him. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? That's not a coincidence, folks. It's not a coincidence. Teams have been taking advantage, and we talked about this ad nauseum for 2 years. Look at this play. Look at this play. Look at this key play. Look at this key play. They target Devin White for being an undisciplined football player, and they know they can get him anytime they want. And those are the games the plays that win games. Touchdowns, red zones, McCaffrey one-on-one with Devin White. I mean, we've detailed this so many times. The rollouts against Atlanta. And he comes up on the quarterback like they know he's going to come up on, leaves his man wide open. Algier down the sideline for 44 yards, game-winning play. I mean, how many times do we have to see it? And KJ Britt's not making those plays against Aaron Jones out in the 3rd and 7, out in the flat, or 3rd and 10, I think it was. Here, KJ Britt, he's so slow, he can't cover anybody. Oh, well, there he is, right on top of Aaron Jones, shoving him out of bounds, 4 yards short of the first down. Looked pretty good to me. Devin White would have been on the other side of the field. And Aaron is going down the freaking sideline for 45 yards. Those are game-changing plays. And they're not happening with Devin out. Why would you put him in?
No idea. No, I have no idea.
Why would you keep him around? Why would you keep this distraction around?
You have the momentum right now. You have the momentum. Your defense is playing better. Britt has solidified it. And even the coach, when asked about it, won't say he's the starting linebacker. Why? Because he doesn't want to hurt Devin White's feelings. Because if he did come out, then White would go on IG or go on Twitter and say, everybody's against me. Everybody's against me. The whole world is against me. I mean,
me against the world. Blah, blah, blah.
The guy's always a victim. The guy always has this victim mentality when it comes to social media. It's so weak.
Richard Hunt, this was an interesting thought. I thought would be great if Devin White would accept the diminished role, situational pass rusher on special teams and put the team first. He could help this team. You're so right, Richard. He could really, really help this team as a situational pass rusher. He could, but he won't do it.
No,
because it's all about him. It's all about him. And he's so stupid. He thinks he's going to get some, I don't know who's in his ear he thinks is going to pay him, all this money to go play. And whatever team it is, you're going to be sorry. Maybe there is a dumb team out there, but
Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're good. Take him, please.
Yeah,
because I hope we play you in a key playoff game because I know exactly where we're going with the football.
Yep, right down the middle. We're gonna scheme up in the middle of the field
where he's 1-on-1 with a back, and see you later.
Good night.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We got to get Bobby the Chief Taylor on to talk some hockey after last night's big win over the St. Louis Blues, 6-1 last night. We got Hayden Fleury scoring goals, AC Mott scoring goals. Of course, Cooch got a couple of them, and Vasti was amazing. So we'll talk some hockey when we come back. Quick break, 3 minutes. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's engagement season. It's the Christmas season. Get your butt over there. Get that ring, 3 to 5 years. Interest-free financing at the Gold and Diamond Source. Keep it local, folks. 3800 Overton Road, right there in Clearwater. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Back, we got National Signing Day news coming up at the top of the hour. Much more on that coming up, but we're going to talk some hockey right now with our good friend Bobby the Chief Taylor, longtime Lightning analyst, Bally Sports, Lightning Radio, all that good stuff. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, JP, and I'm giggling because I still pictured you in that green suit you had on last night.
I told him he needs to wear that all the time for the Lightning because it seems like every time JP dresses up, they play better. So I say take it out on the road. Chief, we suggest every time the Lightning go on the road, we suggest what JP should wear. That's what we do.
Yeah. That's a good luck elf.
There you go.
Hey, I'm down with it. Put a little extra something in my stocking there, Jeff Vinnick, and we'll get that done. No problem. I'll take an 8-year deal around $36 million, Chief. What do you think? That's a Hagel deal. We can do that, right? All right.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll even wear the tights for that kind of money.
There you go. I was walking out last night after the game, and I ran into Santa and Mrs. Claus.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I had my picture taken with them, and they gave me a candy cane. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I come up with some kind of a gimmick with being the Christmas elf. We got to give out something.
Elf on the shelf.
Listen, man, when they came at me with that, and I said, me, I'm a team player. I'm always a team player. I'm like, I got to set the tone for the entire off ice presentation. And, like I said to the people, like this, obviously, folks, I will do anything to entertain you people. Clearly, there's nothing. There's no bar I will not go under. No, that I stoop to put on this stupid ass elf costume with his hat. But hey, I'm a team player, Chief. Come on, man. I'm not like Devin White. Where I'm going to be a team player. So
there you go.
All right. Speaking of team players, we got a great team effort last night. Tyler Mott got a goal. AC Mott got a goal. We even got a goal from a defenseman not named Sergachev and Hedman, for God's sakes, for the first time this year. Hayden Fleury got a goal. It's a great team effort last night, was it not?
I'll tell you what, this is what's so frustrating about the team this year is the fact that when they want to, they can play like that.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing it as often, I mean, we keep wondering, wow, what I liked about it was how they, Vasi was really good. He had to be really good in the second period again. I don't know what it is with the second period, JP.
Oh, weird.
That's weird. They are so bad in the second period. I can't figure that out. Why? But I thought they had played with a lot of speed. I think their puck retrieval was awesome, and that's what it has to be when they're keeping the play inside that other team's defensive zone for long stretches. That's when they play their best, and I thought I was really impressed with that.
What would you do about the second period? Because it seems like it plagues them. Not only that, but the road woes. And what differences did you see last night in that second period? Because it certainly seemed like this team set the tone in the first period, getting out to a 3-0 lead. What did you see differently in that second period last night to when they're on the road?
Well, you know what? For me, it's a puzzle because you always, JP, you've heard me this for years now. Talk about the short change, meaning the bench that is closest to the offensive zone is have a short change, so you go in and out, and teams use that very well, and Washington especially is good at it. But I just think that why we struggle is that we don't use that quick change as often. Guys stay out too long sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they're so doggone tired they can't make it to there, and then players keep the puck inside the zone. It's something that I know players or teams work on it, where they get a sort of a system like, okay, if you're out there for 35 seconds, 40 seconds, you can get off, and you don't have to change it or 4 or 5 guys at a time. You can change 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But you'll always have a fresh guy on there and keep the other team hemmed into the zone. Well, that's the short change thing. They play better when they have a long change. It's the most ass backwards thing I've seen for the longest time. And you know what? I got no solution to it. It's really funny because or last night when I was coming up there with guys where I sit, I kept saying, boy, that was a great first period. Then they all looked at me and said, here comes the second.
I think I saw the stat last night, Chief, that the Lightning goal differential in the first and the third period, they're second in the league in the first period, third in the league in the third period, and 27th in goal differential in the second period. That is the most bizarre stat I think I've ever seen. You can't be so Jekyll and Hyde and just because it's the second period. It makes no sense. But I think what you just said is probably part of it. And that's something you can work on, right? This is something that you can definitely change.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
That's the thing that's the puzzlement too, is that it's just like pounding that square peg into the round hole all the time. See, and you have to get it through their head that you can't, because we'll be in the second period. We'll be in the defensive zone for a while, and then we finally get it out. And because they're going on the offense, the guys want to go on the offense, but they're tired. So now they give the puck up, and now you're tired. You have to go way back. So now you're really tired in the second period. So it's got to be drilled into their heads. Listen, if you're on that ice for 35, 40 seconds in your own zone and you get the puck out, change. You have to change. You can't go out and say, oh, no. But this team is so bent on offense, but, it's like damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but we've dropped to 29th defensively before that game last night. 29th.
Wow.
So that's only 3 times. There's only 3 teams that are worse at giving up goals.
Yeah, and our defensemen aren't scoring. As I said, Fleury's goal last night was the first goal by a defenseman not named Hedman or Sergachev, and it's not like those guys are filling up the back of the net either. And I was talking to Brian Engblom last night on a postgame show, and I said, maybe it's because we've been so bad defensively that the defensemen are just so concentrated on trying to keep the puck out of the net. They're not even thinking about offense. And I'm sure, as you will say, Chief, that's not the way to do it, right? You just got to play your game. And here's the other part about that. The best the best defense is a good offense. So if your defensemen are not being aggressive and keeping the puck in the zone, what are you doing? You're backing up. You're backing up and letting them come out of the zone, and now you're on the defense all the time, right? So is that where part of this, and it's not just on the defenseman, obviously, but is this part of the problem?
I think a big part of it.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of teams try this, but they all want to back off the puck carrier and pack in and protect the middle of the ice. Well, when you're 2 or 3 feet from the puck carrier at the blue line, why wouldn't you just take him?
Hit him.
Because, you don't have to kill the guy. You just have to physically take him out and the play instead of, with your Tinkerbell magic wand, it ain't going to work all the time to get the puck away. So, but for me, they'll say, well, we protect the middle of this, and analytics, don't get me going on that, but that's the safest thing. But no, if you harass the puck carrier, where is he going to go with it? If you keep giving that guy room with the puck, you got time and space to control the puck, he eventually is going to make a play. And not only that, they're going to move the puck around and just tire you out. And now when you're tired, you can't move as quick, or you don't think as quick. So as quickly, rather. And for me, that's one of the biggest problems of us in that second period, is that, it's a long change for defensive situations, but the offensive situations, it's a short change. But for me, I'm not a real big fan of that system that they play.
Yeah.
And
where you're backing off.
Because it just, you rely on your goaltender so much, and if they aren't outstanding, that's why we're now, 29th defensively.
Yeah. And Vasi was good last night, partner. I think that's the best I've seen him since he's been back. His side-to-side movement made a lot of great pad saves last night. He's, for my money, he's got the best legs in the game, right? covers so much of the bottom of the net and gets across so quickly. And we saw that a couple times on 3-on-1s last night, a couple of breakaways. He was tremendous.
Oh, outstanding. You know, that game in Edmonton was unbelievable. He had 57 shots.
Yeah.
It's a wonder he didn't have help off the ice at the end of the game. He should have been so tired.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, like our second power play, we were outshot 3-2 with them. They had 3 shots shorthanded and 2-on-1. You know, I mean, sometimes I just don't understand their thought process. But the one thing I have to point out, this is the one thing that bothers the heck out of me. We're up 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
You have what, 3 minutes to go, and they're on a power play. Now we're trying to score shorthanded all the time. I would like to know, if you're up by 6-0, that if you got that 7th goal, do you get 3 points for the win?
I haven't checked the rules.
I mean,
but I don't think so.
Got a guy back there that's bailed you out time and time again. Why would you want to keep trying to leave him hung out to dry?
Not nice. That's not nice, because he would have maybe got another shutout. He's come so close to, but
that's the point for me. You know, I mean, you're shorthanded. You don't have to score shorthanded. You know, when we had that 2-on-1 or something, like, what you do is you go down slowly, kill the clock, do the time. You know, it's like, you know, you see it in football. You got a smart running back. He doesn't run in for the touchdown. The other day I was watching it. He just went down.
Rashad White, take a knee. Yeah. Slide down. Keep the clock going. Yeah. Situation, time and situation. Know what's going on. Be a smart player. Yeah, there's a lot of that lacking across all leagues, my friend.
I agree.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. All right, so Vegas comes in Thursday night. Great to hear that they got their ass kicked last night in Carolina. They were down 6-1. Got a couple of late goals to make it 6-3, but they're the best team in the West, obviously championship caliber team. Our girlfriend Marchessault, the Conn Smythe one. I mean, they're going to be pissed off, but you know what? I like it, because that's when the Lightning play their best hockey, against the better teams. So a chance to continue what you just did against St. Louis and build on it and get another big win here.
Yeah, and they've got a very strong lineup from top to bottom. But what's really special about Vegas is they got really good defense.
Yeah,
really good defense, and they got defense that moves the puck. So you've got to really make sure your forechecking game is really at its best.
Bobby, one of our fans here, Zach Mitchell, big time Lightning fan, big time hockey fan. He suggests that maybe you make a trade for a veteran or somebody that can come in and help. Could you see the Lightning doing this if this defense continues to have their breakdowns?
I could, yeah. You know, I mean, that's for me. You know, we got guys kind of playing more minutes than they're capable of, and I think if you could get another guy that somehow to come in with a much more steady guy, you know, that's a little bit stronger in his own end, I think that'd be a great move. And I'm sure
Julian
has. Yeah, he's kind of looked at that, you know. But
they got no salary cap room, though. They're gonna have to trade salary for salary, which is hard to do.
Yeah, and then, you know, that's the hard thing about it. For me, it's that I would love to see that, because we've got, you know, the top 4 is actually only the real top 2 for me. And the rest of them are you know, and I'm not. It is what it is. I'm not trying to be too negative to them, but we do need a little bit more help back there, I think.
Yeah.
But also, this is where the forwards can help out too. You know, I don't instead pick up some loose men. You know, look around once in a while.
Yes.
The puck's in the corner. Everybody's looking at the puck, and they're down around the goal.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you get it, where are you going to go with it?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, that has to make some adjustments. But I have to point this out too, and I was thinking about it myself last night and this morning. We were kind of struggling like this in 2004 to about this time of year.
Yeah. Yes.
We were right around 500. We didn't do it. Then all of a sudden, bang! the Lightning took off. I think we lost something like 3, maybe 4 games regulation, and this was before overtime and shootouts. We had a few ties, but went on a run that took us right to the Stanley Cup. So it is not saying that we're gonna we're sounding like doom and gloom, but it can be done.
No,
it happened with this team before.
St. Louis did it a couple of years ago. They were in eighth out of the playoffs at Christmas time. And they won the cup. No, it can happen, no question about it. And this team, and the thing about it, this team has the core to do it. They have the championship core. They've got the guys that can lead you and have been there before, and that matters come postseason time because they know what it takes. I'm not giving up on this team at all. And the fact that Sherry and Mott have not really played. They've not gotten a chance to kind of put their stamp on this team on the bottom 6, get an identity for that last line, that can really make a difference. And I think that was the plan going in. They wanted those guys to be difference makers, in the bottom half. And, I'm not saying they're going to go 50 goals, but, as we saw when we won the 2 cups, those 3rd and 4th lines are critical. They're critical. If you get production out of them, the top 2 lines will sometimes cancel each other out. Then those guys are the difference makers. And those 2 guys really haven't had a chance yet because of injury to get their stamp on this team. Is that fair?
No, I agree 100% because I thought Shearer was really starting to come before he got hurt. And the best thing that this team has for him, number 88.
Yes.
Yep. It's the best thing they got. Best of the game. And I'll tell you what, if they start paying attention to little things, and especially in their own zen, 88 has players talking to themselves. Look at some of those saves he made last night with the glove. And you'd see that Thomas had his head up in the rafters all night long because he couldn't put the puck past him.
Yeah, he was in his head. When they start shaking their head, that's when you know you got him. All right, Chief, great stuff. Hey, man, listen, I hope you guys have a great Christmas there. Of course, I'll be in elf costume tomorrow night. You can get your pictures and laugh at me again. Maybe I'll come down your chimney and with a bottle of bourbon. We'll see.
All right.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
It better not be sticks or coal, for God's sake. I'll tell you that.
No, man, I only bring the good stuff. All right, my friend. Bobby the Chief Taylor bolts in Vegas tomorrow night at the arena. All right, we'll do another quick break. When we come back, Peter's got some good stuff from the Jake Paul fiasco the other night. That was fun. And we'll get into National Signing Day. Florida State loading up. The Gators in critical position. They've lost a lot of commits in the last week. Will they be able to recoup some of them? We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us.
Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or try to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the Patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the Patio.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, and we thank our good friends at the Get Us Gordon Group, one of our new sponsors. If you have any real estate needs, how about you get a house for Christmas? That's a good one. Or you want to do some real estate investing in the new year. You've got some money maybe taken out of the market, want to get into some real estate. That's something they do really, really well. So sit down and have a conversation with Jane Geddes. Nobody like Jane. They'll become lifelong friends of yours and find you the best house and the best investment. So check it out, the Get Us Gordon Group. Might even get some golf tips as well from Jane.
I need some Royal Rumble tickets. That's what I'm working. I mean, she worked for WWE. That's what we need to get her on the show.
Okay. All right.
And Royal Rumble is coming to Tropicana in January. So I know you're not a big time wrestling fan, but if you're going to go to a pay-per-view, there's two events you go to. WrestleMania, which is in Philadelphia. We ain't going to stinking Philadelphia. And the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is where it's at because you don't know who's going to win that event. 32 superstars going over the top rope. It's a beautiful thing at the same time. So
I'll take your word for it.
You've never seen it. You've got to see it up close and personal. It's great.
I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I respect it. I'm good. I mean, hell, NFL's become professional wrestling now. So what am I paying attention to, right? Jeez.
Right, the script. There you go.
Tommy DeVito. We got Tommy DeVito's agent now. You know, he's part of the script. We got Taylor Swift. You know, what happened to the whole Yaya Diaby dating Dua Lipa?
Yeah, that was a fake rumor.
That was fake, man. I was like, oh, I was like, ooh, we're gonna win some games now. They're writing us into the script. All right, let's go. But not to be.
No.
All right. So it is National Signing Day, and this is the day when the high school players all fulfill their lifelong dream. Jeremiah Smith is a 5-star wide receiver that everybody wants. He has been committed to Ohio State forever. The Gators had him as a want and a commit for a while. They still feel like they're in it. And the late Charger, Florida State University. FSU.
Yes.
So there's a lot of scuttlebutt that Jeremiah Smith could be breaking hearts at Ohio State. And there are so many moving parts right now. So Cam Ward is kind of the big fish out there in terms of transfer quarterbacks. And he's down to Miami and Florida State. And obviously, if you're Jeremiah Smith, you want to know who your quarterback is. So, and you got to wonder, like, what's going on behind the scenes in NIL? Are teams just like, okay, is his NIL agent going, okay, FSU, is this your best offer? Okay, Ohio State, is this your best offer? And none of this stuff is transparent whatsoever. We can't get any information on NIL stuff. I read a newsletter now every day about NIL stuff, and it's still hard to, believe what's real and what's not. What are the numbers out there? Is it $2, $3, $4 million? But Jeremiah Smith is the big fish. KJ Bolden is another one that committed to Florida State in the summer, but has also taken recruiting visits. So FSU fans are holding on for dear life to see if he commits. What's interesting about this is so many of these commitments, as you just saw Marvin Jones Jr., who was a 5-star who went to Georgia. just transferred back to Florida State when, they thought they had him in the, Marvin Jones Sr., old friend of mine, one of the great linebackers in FSU history and Jets history. But they got a great deal from Georgia, a great NIL deal. They took it, and now he's back at Florida State. So, these big wins in recruiting right now for high school may not mean much in the next year because it's, they'll be back in the transfer portal if things don't go perfectly well, or they're sitting behind, guys that are headed to the NFL, like Marvin was at Georgia. And, it's a crazy world that we're living in right now, but it is National Signing Day. And, kudos to USF who got Nico Grammatica of the Kicking Grammaticas from Cambridge Christian. Local to high school. He's one of the best, and he'll be kicking in that new stadium. He'll be the first to kick a ball in that new stadium when they open it up at USF. So that's cool. USF has the best AAC class going into recruiting. So that's a big feather in the cap of Alex Golish as they get ready to play in the Boca Bowl against Syracuse tomorrow night. So great things happening for USF. And by the end of the day, though, this is, it's going to be telling for the Gators. They've lost, I believe, 6 commitments in the last week and a half to a recruiting class that was at one point a top 3 class and is now ranked in 10th, and we'll see where it finishes. Again, it's not the end all be all with high school recruiting anymore, where it used to be the lifeblood of all programs because of the lack of transfer opportunities, because you used to have to sit out a year. Now you can transfer once, sometimes twice, and away you go. So, well, so far so good as far as FSU goes. I don't think there's been any major defections from their class, which was already a top 3 or 4 class. Mike Norvell has built up. And I don't know if you've seen the latest. Jared Verse is not going to play in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, it's another player. I mean, and again, it's disappointing, but it's to be expected because what do these players have to play for? The committee basically told you it doesn't matter. College football has told you it doesn't matter. So, of course, these players, why would they risk it? Why risk your draft position and take an injury when you're not getting paid any extra money to play in a bowl game? People say, well, you got to prove. They don't got to prove anything, JP. No. They have to prove nothing at all. But the problem is that people are going to go, if Georgia does blow the doors off of Florida State with all their missing players, see, the committee was right. We told you so, and it's just not fair. It's a lose-lose situation for Florida State.
Yep. And that's sad. It's really sad the way this whole thing has gone down. I was actually texting back and forth with Mike Alford yesterday, the FSU athletic director, and he's going to come on the show in January when we come back in a couple weeks. So I'm very interested, and we're just chatting a little bit about, he can't tell me much, obviously, about where they're headed, but it's a pretty good bet that FSU is headed to the Big Ten, and at least in my mind. And I think, that'll be announced probably before the 2024 season gets started at some point. Nice. I think, a lot of people obviously were penciling them in for the SEC, but I think the more and more we're going to discover that it was the SEC and ESPN that conspired to keep FSU out of the college football playoff. Shocking development.
Right.
Exactly. And promoting not just one, but 2 SEC teams. As people forget, where's Texas going next year?
Well,
the SEC.
Yeah.
Have you seen the promos for ESPN taking over all the SEC package?
Oh, yeah.
In the college football. Oh, shocking development.
Yeah.
Shocking development. I mean,
well, going back to Ward, you want him at this point over DJ, who was at Clemson and then went to Oregon State. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name.
Uliangalele.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
God bless you. Absolutely. Yes. Whatever you had to say there. I don't. Ward was actually recruited by Miami, as you said, and they brought out the full court press because they had Rick Ross there come out too. I mean, it's like the 2 Live Crew days with Luke. I mean, can you imagine if 2 Live Crew were around right now with the NIL?
Oh my God!
But if you're Ward, where do you want to go? Are you?
Well, I mean, this is where it happens. I mean, imagine throwing to Jeremiah Smith, Hakeem Williams, and Destin Hill at FSU. I mean, if they get Jeremiah, and that's, of course, that's what Mike Norvell's selling right now. And by the way, as he gets ready for an Orange Bowl game against Georgia all these coaches are now completely distracted with early signing recruiting. The college football landscape is so screwed up right now.
Yeah.
You've got coaches that are, preparing for playoff games, and they're spent the entire week, like every day, putting pacifiers back in kids' mouths to make sure they stick around in the, and don't enter the portal, or how much you're going to give them to come to your team. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way it's working right now, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. These leaders in college football, or lack of leaders in college football. So, but it is what it is, and Mike Norvell has done a masterful job of working the portal, and I believe he'll. They've figured out, and I think FSU has been ahead of the game, that high school recruiting now takes a back seat to portal recruiting and talent recruitment, talent acquisition in terms of NIL money, and talent retention in terms of that. I mean, the big reason FSU was even in the situation for being undefeated is they got the money to bring Jared Verse back. They got the money to bring all the players back that they needed to bring back. And, they got to find the money for Patrick Payton now. They got to, so NIL now is probably the most important, and transfer portal is the way to build your team. It's like the draft is high school recruiting, right? And then NIL is more free agency, but the free agents are, in the NFL, they'll help you, right? But you don't get access to the premium players in the NFL with free agency. In college football, you do, because you're having, guys like Cam Ward. That's the best quarterbacks in the game are leaving. Dylan Gabriel, went to Oklahoma. Now he's gone somewhere else. I forget where. I think maybe Oregon now. So it's crazy, but this is what FSU is, they've been nimble enough to figure this out, and it's been a huge part of their success in the last couple of years. So, but this is, high school is where you can get some of the super studs, and this class that FSU has coming in is fantastic, and we'll see if they can hold it together and get Jeremiah Smith as we move through the day. But those are the big fish that are yet to go, and FSU doesn't know who their quarterback's going to be next year. And if it's Brock Glenn, I'm not writing the kid off, but it wasn't the most, greatness shows up early, and that didn't show up, but that was a tough spot to put him in. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm not giving up on the kid. They've got some good kids in the pipeline, but we'll see. I think, to me, you're seeing that these most competitive teams are, getting great transfer portal quarterbacks or keeping their guys, and it's tough.
And you look at Deion Sanders. I mean, early reports are he focused on offensive line. And, of course, why wouldn't you? Because your son had a fractured back, and that offensive line was atrocious last year. So, listen, if Deion is focusing on offensive line, defensive line, whatever else, you got to feel like Colorado can make that jump in the second year, because it was disastrous down the stretch. It really was. So, it's a big deal. It really is.
I think it's going to, getting good offensive linemen is going to help. And Deion knows that it's all about the portal now. And, I know he's getting a lot of crap for not doing a lot of high school recruiting. But that's not going to be his MO. I'm not trying to defend him, but he's got a long way to go as a coach. It would, having a bad offensive line is, welcome to the party. There's a lot of teams in this league in college football that don't have great offensive lines that figure it out. He never figured it out. And he lost his offensive coordinator. It's going to be, he's going to learn that college football is a lot about, especially being a head coach. You got to be, it can't all be superstars and limo rides and private airplanes. There's some hard work to be done, and to keep teams around. I mean, how as a coach you're going to keep players on board as a team when you're, routinely ripping them in the press and scapegoating your offensive line? I mean, what offensive lineman really wants to go play for Deion Sanders at this point? He'll get some good ones, but will he be able to keep them together? It ain't easy. So it's one of the reasons I think he was crazy. The Colorado thing looked great early, but had he come to USF, he wouldn't have lost 7 games. I can tell you that.
No,
probably that schedule.
Yeah,
that schedule. He'd be looking at 11-1 is what he'd be looking at. The talent that he would have brought to USF, but now he was exposed because he went and played against the big boys, and that was bound to happen. That was bound to happen. I don't care how good Shador is, and how good Travis Hunter is. You got to have a team to play with them. When you're playing against Charlotte and Tulsa, Shador is going to carve those people up, and Travis Hunter is going to carve those people up.
UAB and
yeah. And if Dion was sitting here at 11-1, he'd be in a major bowl game right now and probably be headed somewhere else. But
and also you'd be tearing down Florida State, Florida, and Miami because Dion would be able to have that advantage.
You're
that's the thing. I don't understand the Colorado thing. Like it doesn't make any it's not a hotbed for football, right? I mean, you can go to California, I guess. Maybe you're a little bit closer to Texas, but damn, everybody knows where real football is at. It's in the state of Florida, whether it's high school, whether it's college, whether it's even pro. It's in the state of Florida. That's where you find your talent mostly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, Texas, California, Florida, Georgia. Yeah, that's where most of the hotbed is. So,
right.
Yeah. What else did I want to get? Oh, you got to give me a little bit of Jake Paul here before we hit the break.
All right. So we're talking to Jake Paul after the fight here, post-fight, and I asked him about the critics after knocking out Andre August 2 minutes and 32 seconds into the fight. Did this silence his critics? And this is what he had to say from the man himself, the problem child, Jake Paul.
With the critics here, do you think that your first-round knockout has put that all to bed?
Yeah. That's why... Be quiet, y'all. Be quiet. At some point, you got to turn that hate into be like, okay, fine, I'm going to just jump on the bandwagon. All aboard, yo. Like, y'all went from haters and all this shit. Like, we welcome everybody. If you hated me before, it's cool. I forgive you. Come to the fun side. I know you want to dance to the Christmas jingle when I'm walking out. I know you're at home, like, itching, like, ooh, that's a vibe. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I can't help it. Oh, I want to dance. So just give it up. Jump on the bandwagon. Get used to it. Get used to this. I'm going to be here forever in this sport. Like I said, and predicted all this from the start. Made it happen. Manifestation into reality. So keep the criticisms coming, but it's not going to do anything.
And he's doing it inside and outside the ring, right? That's the most amazing thing about Jake Paul. He's performing as an athlete, but he's also helping elevate a sport, bringing attention to young fighters, giving women opportunities. That can't be discredited, right? That bandwagon, he's carrying a big, big, big wagon himself. So,
All right, there you go. And then, just a great response. I love that response. I love that soundbite. Anytime you ask that type of question about critics or anything, you're going to get something good like that from Mr. Paul himself. So I go on and I ask about evolution because I'm all about evolution, the evolution of sports talk television. I ask about his evolution from his first fight to now, and here's what he had to say.
Jake, talk about your evolution from your first fight to now. What's the biggest thing that you've learned?
I wish I could summarize that, man. It's been thousands of hours in the gym, but I think more so just believing in myself and my ability, having fun out there, and surrounding myself with the right team. When Third and Jay Leon and Larry Wade came in, the whole attitude changed. They pushed me so much harder than I'd ever been pushed before, and that was really the difference maker. And really my boxing career didn't start until after I lost because they came in, corrected my basic fundamentals that I had skipped by due to other coaches skipping by it, and they pushed me, did thousands of drills on my footwork every single day, getting my mind right, surrounding myself with amazing people, and that really is what elevated everything. So just owe it to everyone else, and the people around me pushing me and wanting the best for me.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. I don't think anybody predicted he'd be this successful and certainly make this much money. I'm sure Celsius is paying a pretty penny, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we hit the break, our good friend Drew Felios chimes in. FSU going to the Big Ten is not a good move. Tougher travel, more cold weather games, less regional rivalries. I know they feel like they have to make a move after the snub, but this is the wrong one. I don't disagree with that, Drew, but I don't think the SEC is an option, to be honest with you. I think that bridge has been burned because the SEC and the ESPN were behind this.
Yeah.
And there's no question in my mind about that. And I think, you're right about the cold weather games. That's not going to be too significant. Remember, college football is pretty much over before late November. So you're not playing into December and January. So that's good. There'll be some cold weather games, but maybe one a year. So, but I think the competition is easier in the Big Ten. There's no question about that. I mean, look at the SEC. I mean, yeah, I know it's a 12-team playoff now, but in a 12-team playoff, if you're in the Big Ten, and by the way, you've got to get another TV partner involved. You cannot let ESPN run college football because we see what a disaster that can be. You need another TV partner involved in the postseason, and that's Fox. And they need to get in here and be part of it and have a say at the table, because otherwise, the Big Ten is going to get screwed and everybody else is going to get screwed. It's going to be the SEC Invitational in the college football playoff, even with 12 teams. So let's not fool ourselves. So I think it'll be a good, and I hope that the Florida rivalry stays. Who knows where Miami's going to go? They'll probably go to the Big Ten as well. So that'll be part of the rivalry. Will continue. And I'd like to see FSU continue to play some of these LSU games and SEC rivals. And of course, they'll, I would say in a 12-team playoff, there's a pretty good chance that FSU will be playing an SEC team almost every year in the playoff. So don't forget that. So I think it's, I understand where you're going with that, but I think for the most part, you're going to get the most money. It's going to be either easier pathway to the playoff. I know and I think it's better for the university to get more exposure in the northern parts of the country in those bigger markets, those bigger national and business savvy markets like Chicago and in a little bit in the Northeast. So I think it's an interesting move. I mean, if you go to the SEC, you're just one of many. You're one of many of the same. It's a prestigious conference. There's no doubt about it. The competition is better, no question about it. But I think there's a lot of bad blood, and I don't know if it can be recovered, to be quite honest. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mary Beth Williams. If you guys have plans for Christmas, you want to be part of a boat parade, I might even wear my elf costume because I'm going to be the grand marshal.
I was going to ask her that. Are you going to make JP wear his elf costume? So you stole my fire on that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to suggest that.
I'll kill you if you do that. So we're going to talk about some Christmas events coming up. And also, J.C. Allen's going to join us at 11:45. He was out of practice this morning. Bucks practice. Tell us who's out there, who's practicing, what the hell's going on with Devin White. So we'll get that update as well. Still to come here on the J.P. Peterson Show. Stay with us.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
Hey, the holidays are almost here, so take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. Reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. And engagement season is here as well, and we've got the largest selection of engagement rings, so visit us to find that perfect ring for that special moment. Looking for financing options? How big a ring can you get when we give you 3 to 5 years interest-free financing to make your dream jewelry more affordable? So this November, make sure you choose the Gold and Diamond Source for jewelry that's always stylish and unique, because your special someone deserves something to be thankful for, right? Find the perfect gift at the Gold and Diamond Source. Don't settle for factory-made imitations, folks. Make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond for a truly special piece of jewelry. It's the best folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source, 4800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again,
Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by those great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Last-minute shoppers out there, you know, you're going to go to a lot of places and everything's going to be picked over and, like, you're going to get the worst of the worst. Not at the Golden Diamond Source. They restock every single day. They got the biggest inventory in the world. So go on in there. The staff is ready for you. Easy parking, easy in, easy out. Just go in there and say, I got $250 to spend on somebody. What can I get? Blah, blah, blah. They'll take you right to it. Easy. And they'll wrap it up nice for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. Keep it local, folks. We love Steve and Julie over there. Great place to go for Christmas. That'll get you in the mood. Ain't no doubt about it. All right. I want to welcome in from the Friends of the Tampa River Walk, Mary Beth Williams, who is the Grand Poobah over there. And she is making sure that the boat parade goes down coming up this weekend. And you can still get involved in it. What's up, Mary Beth? How are you?
Hey, JP. Thanks for having me. Doing well.
Yeah, I'm excited about this boat parade. I've never been a grand marshal before, let alone for a boat parade. I can't tell you how excited I am. This is going to be so much fun. Tell us all about it.
It's big time. It's big time. We do boat parades the right way over here in Tampa. Our organization is responsible for probably over 20 years of boat parades. Before the Lightning and the Bucks made boat parades cool, we were doing boat parades. So we know how to do them right. And this is probably going to be our biggest and best year. We have over 100 boats that are registered.
Nice.
Still registering. That doesn't count all of the other boats that come out just to watch the boat parade. You'll have a great view being on the lead boat as one of our parade marshals. So we're just really, really excited. People go all out for this event. I mean, lights, inflatables, animals, dancing, music. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've lived in downtown Tampa for, the last 20 years, except for 2 years. I got exiled to Atlanta. But almost every year I'm down on the Riverwalk watching the boat parade from the side. I've been on a boat a couple of times. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best things we do in Tampa. I mean, obviously we know about the championship boat parades, but this one's been going on, as you mentioned, for a long, long time. Tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that we'll see. And also, if somebody's out there and wants to get involved, what's it take? How do they do it?
Sure. So there's still time to register. I mean, we've had the captain's party, so unfortunately boaters have missed that, but we can still catch them up with everything they need to know to be ready for the boat parade. So if they visit our website, the TampaRiverWalk.com, and they go to the boat parade page, they can still register for the boat parade. It's $95 right now. It goes up the closer that we get to the event, so they want to hop on now. And then they're just going to decorate their boat. They show up. We start the parade route at the southern tip of Harbor Island, and the small boats will line up. We've got about 100 small boats and about 30, I call them big boats, but those are the boats that can't go under the bridges because our bridges don't open for the boat parade.
Right.
So by the time all of the small boats get down to into the convention center basin and then make their way up to Armature, then our big boats will circle back. And then when the small boats turn around, then they hook back up with the big boats, and we finish over at Sparkman Wharf, which I'll mention, in order to be eligible to win trophies or prizes, you've got to do the whole course. And we have parade marshals that are standing by at specific locations to write boat numbers down to make sure you've gone through all the checkpoints.
Nice. And so what are we talking about here? We're talking about Clark Griswold, like thousands of lights. I mean, if you're going to win this thing, what's your boat got to look like?
Well, so the judges of the boat parade are kids from Big Brothers Big Sisters, so you have to impress kids.
Okay.
And I found last year, I think one of the boats that won had all these bubbles that were coming off of it, kind of looked like snow, but you got to have music, you got to have inflatables, you got to have lights, dancing, singing,
costumes.
I think pets. Yeah, costumes. I think we had a Grinch boat that might have won last year.
Oh, nice.
It really is fun. And I'll say this too. So if you don't have a boat and you can't participate that way, and you want to kind of up your game, we do have a VIP section located at the convention center. So you have premier seating, we've got food, we've got beverage, and it's probably the best seat in the house for the boat parade. So they can get tickets on our website for the VIP section as well. And right now those are $100 each day of the event. If we have any left, they go up to $125.
Well, that's good. You get a couple drink tickets, you get the taco bar, preferred seating. So if you want to do something for Christmas, this is Saturday night, December 23rd, coming up this Saturday night. This is the play to do, because I know people are always looking for stuff to do for Christmas, and that would be, if you want to get in the spirit, that sounds like it. So I think Peter had a question for you as well.
I mean, yeah, what's the usual turnout for this, and what's the expected turnout, you think?
Holy cow, it's hard to measure because people, line the 2.6 miles of the Riverwalk, and so I don't have an accurate count of it. The Tampa Downtown Partnership might be able to help us out with some of their Placer AI data. I usually pinpoint wherever it is we activate, and typically we're down at Sparkman Wharf. And I know last year, just at Sparkman, we had 7,500 people in that location.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow, is right. Yeah.
That's going to be tens of thousands of people. All right, so should I wear? You want me to go Santa Claus suit? I had a pretty sweet elf costume on last night, Buddy the Elf at the Lightning game. I could probably procure that one.
Grinch. Grinch.
You want a Grinch? What do you want me in? What are we looking for here?
I like elf. So
all right.
You can surprise me. I'll be waiting in the judges section to see what you turned out like.
I was afraid you were going to say that, because that elf costume, I look like a complete dork. I got people I just got a text, and you look more like a gnome, like a pickle. You look like a giant pickle.
Write it down.
Come on, Mary Beth.
Now you have to wear that one.
That's how you want it, right there.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll wear the coat, but I ain't wearing the stupid hat. How's that? Fair enough?
Okay. All right.
I say you still wear the hat. No. You can't now. He's got to wear the whole costume.
No,
can't be cheating.
Ain't gonna do it. Not doing it.
Cheating. Yeah, you got to wear the hat too.
All right, Mary Beth. Once again, the website is the TampaRiverWalk.com. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
TampaRiverWalk.com. Go there, get your VIP tickets, get your boat involved, and come on out and see us. Thank you so much. I know you got another interview on a News Channel 8 to go do. So thank you for your time, and I will see you on Saturday.
Thank you so much. See you then. Take care.
Clearly, this is a highlight of my career.
Yes.
I've gone from working with Bob Costas on Sunday Night Football to wearing an elf costume.
Yes.
And yes. So I think
you could do it. I could definitely think you could pull it
off. All those reporting awards that I have so prominently displayed behind me. It's back when I was a serious journalist, but now I'm wearing elf costumes.
You're working with me too. Yeah.
Working with the great Peter Blake. Look at where my career's going. Skyrocketing.
Exactly.
Skyrocketing.
Yeah. Jake Paul. We got.
Never been happier.
Never
been happier. I love it. All right, we got a quick break. We got JC Allen coming up, right? All right, quick.
You do, yes.
Super quick break. JC Allen, who was at practice this morning, we'll find out what's going on with Devin White. Was he out there? Does he even practice anymore? Does he need to practice? Doesn't even need to practice. Show up on Sunday, man. You're the starter. Why watch film? Go ahead. Back in 3.
All right.
Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the Patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the Patio. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Hump Day Wednesday. We got JC Allen aboard?
We do. We got him.
JC, what's up, my friend? Merry Christmas to you. How are you? Is he there?
He's there. JC, are you there?
I'm here. What's going on, guys?
There he is. What's up? I was just looking at your Twitter here and seeing Devin White get live 45 is out at practice.
Woo.
He is.
How exciting.
How exciting. Is he gonna play? I mean, what's the sense around this team right now around the $1 place?
Yeah, I think if you're looking at it, KJ Britt has certainly earned the right to start over his play over the last 3 weeks. It's one of these things where it's kind of everyone's in a kind of wait and see pattern, right? We'll see if Devin speaks to the media today. But the team is on a hot tear. Do you go with your captain who maybe did or did not take himself out of the game after learning that he'd be rotating? or do you go with the guy who has given you the best chance to win the last 3 weeks? So it's definitely going to be something close to monitor. Has Devin changed his tune? Does he maybe, will he be a rotational guy? If that's the case, then maybe use him on third downs. It's kind of a pressure specialist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to kind of follow along this week with the will he, won't he, who do they go as a starter? I think we'll get some more answers maybe by Todd Bowles today, certainly by Friday.
JC, this is a joke. This is a joke. Good organizations don't handle things like this. This guy, I said it before the season, they needed to trade him while his market value was still there. You may have gotten a 2, who knows? And now you couldn't trade him at the deadline. Nobody wanted him. And now he's a complete distraction because it's all about him. And what he did on Sunday was despicable. And we should be talking about this team and the 3-game win streak and all the great stuff. But instead, we're talking about this jamoke. And Todd Bowles comes out and lied to you and everybody else at the press conference. I can't wait to hear what he says today. Having him around is nothing but a distraction. And to think that the players aren't are all on board with this, they're not. They're pissed about it too. What the hell is this organization doing? There's no reason that guy should be out there.
It's one of these things where I don't think you're not going to release him because you're not going to give him the chance to go somewhere else.
I agree.
IR, because just in case things happen, obviously we saw, in a matter of one game, you're down and Ryan Neal's playing, linebacker for you. So it's one of these things where, what do you do? Do you bench him indefinitely for the rest of the season? Do you, maybe use him as a rotational role if he buys into that? Ultimately, you hear the team and you hear what they're saying. The ultimate goal, Rachaad White wants to hit 1,000 yards. He wants to win more.
Yeah.
Christian Wirfs wants to make an All-Pro. He wants to win more.
That's
Anthony Jr. wants to make an All-Pro. He wants to win more. And when they speak, it's like that. Mike Evans wants to get 1,000 yards. Chris Godwin wants to get 1,000 yards. But when they speak, it's all about the team, helping the team.
Right.
How do I help the team? The best way to, Chris, your wife posts some things on this, on that. Chris, if you look at your numbers, they're right on par with some of the top number 2 wide receivers in the league. That's great. I didn't know that. But really, it's all about helping the team win. You don't get that sense from Devin. And if the rumors are true, if the reports are true, if they're not true, that he kind of took himself out of the game after learning that, rotational role. Again, unconfirmed, but leaning towards yes. I've got to attain some sort of journalistic credibility. But then that's a guy who's not putting the team first. He didn't put the team first when he asked for a trade, when he can get his contract demands. And we'll see what Bowles does. It's one of these things where, Bowles was kind of the last defender of Devin White, and he still stuck up for his guy. That's great. And I think if you're a player, it's bad. So what Bowles did with Godwin and with Devin White, from a media perspective, it frustrates you. From a fan perspective, it frustrates you. From a player perspective, you've got a coach that's going to go to bat and make himself look like an ass for you. And that's attractive to players. That's attractive to players on the roster. That's attractive to the players that they might be trying to recruit. From everything, the players love him. He's never lost his locker room. He might have lost one player, but that player, again, go back to the situation of last year, right? We got some players who are still living in Super Bowl dreamland.
Yeah.
Comes back into this offseason. We had a lot of players who were kind of about themselves, and now we feel more cohesive as a team. Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones. Devin White was one of those guys. I'm assuming. I'm not putting words in Nutrition's mouth. I'm assuming. But, you look at the course of the actions throughout the season, the cryptic tweets in the offseason, the cryptic tweets during the season recently, it all points to Devin White kind of putting himself above the team in various scenarios. Again, that's me piecing together, not reporting anything, but that's the situation. And how does the team handle this? He's a captain. He's voted a captain by his teammates, even after all the shenanigans in the offseason. He's not awarded that by Bowles. How does the team handle it? I'm sure we'll be getting some questions. Some people will be asking those questions to teammates, and if Devin talks, he'll have a chance to,
He
kind
ain't
of
gonna
speak his
talk.
piece. The thing about Devin when his post was everyone wants to say something without talking to the main character. Well, Devin was nowhere to be found in the locker room.
Exactly.
And now Devin is a pro. He knows that after games, especially away games, that media is going to get Bowles and going to get Baker. And then they're going to the locker room.
That's
Because
right.
there's media there too, especially on away games, especially when it's a distance. Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, you might get more because it's a little bit closer. So some people might be making that drive. But Green Bay is, it's a 3-hour flight. It's up north. So he knew that, what was going to happen and made himself scarce. Now, there was one outlet, JBF, that forewent the interviews with Baker and Bowles after and did get him to speak, and wrote it in their article, something about, I just felt like I couldn't go, so I didn't go. I wasn't healthy enough or something like that. The foot's not healthy enough for him to feel like he can make a difference at what he needs to do. So, but to kind of dodge the rest of the media when they're coming after a certain time period.
Exactly.
Well, you kind of put yourself out there for some scrutiny.
It's on brand. It's on brand.
Make the Twitter tweet. And again, you're right. We should be talking about Baker's perfect game still. We should be talking about Bucks going on a 3-0 run. We should talk about Todd Bowles using all his timeouts in the first half.
How about that?
Whoa!
How about that?
Going off.
Fourth down, going for it.
Todd White almost hitting 1,000 yards now with 3 games left. All these positive stories should be talking. Antoine Winfield Jr. solidifying himself as a potential All-Pro. But instead, we're talking about Devin White, and and he had the opportunity on Sunday to clear all this up, but chose to not speak to the rest of the media members that were there. So now stories are going on.
That's right. Stories will be written. You don't talk.
And same thing. It's one of those things where it's really a gray area, right? The Buccaneers are mandated to report if anybody is medically ruled out by the medical staff prior to the game. If a player takes himself out, says, I don't think I can go, and medically they've been cleared, but the player's saying, I don't think I can go. Now, that's not something I know people are like, oh, they should have reported it. It should have been reported. Well, there's no onus for them to report that. It's almost kind of gamesmanship at the same time to not report that, right?
Well, no, it's because no players take themselves out of games. It's very rare for when you get cleared medically to take yourself out. Right. If you've been cleared by the medical staff and you take yourself out of the game, we all know why you did it, because they told you weren't going to start and you're a little emotional child. And that's what you do. That's completely on brand for Devin White. And which is why if I was running this team, I would have shut it down on Monday. And I'll say, we're going to handle this internally. We'll tell you guys when we decide what we're going to do with him. I would have put him on the inactive list, the conduct detrimental to the team, and moved on and not allowed him to go anywhere else and just sat there. We'll pay you. We'll Keyshawn you. But we don't need you around. We're focusing on our team. We're focusing on the guys that want to play. We're focusing on Baker Mayfield. We're focusing on these final 3 games. I appreciate media asking questions, but when we decide what we're going to do with them, we'll let you know. I'm not answering any other questions. I'm focusing on my team. Next question. That's how you handle it.
And that's where Bowles coming in to defend his players comes into play.
Exactly. And not all the players are on board with that.
It's not something that, fans want to hear, but it's something that players do respect and do like about Bowles and the way
KJ Brett doesn't like it. And Tristan Wirfs doesn't like it. And Mike Evans doesn't like it. They don't like that.
Some guys don't like it. Yeah.
No, they don't like coach doing that because they know exactly what's going on. They still love their coach, but they're not on board. There's plenty of players that aren't on board with Coach Bowles doing what he did. They want Devin White out of here like many of us do. They don't want distractions in the locker room. They don't want me guys in the locker room. And Devin has worn out his welcome here from his teammates. I think that's pretty clear. And I'm seeing him on the field today it's a mistake by the organization, in my opinion. But moving forward, before I let you go, your thoughts on this matchup with Jacksonville. It's a home game. Bucs have not scored a lot of points at home. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they have a really good chance to win this game. Trevor Lawrence and no Trevor Lawrence. There's been a lot of ups and downs. They were able to sneak out some wins that maybe perhaps they shouldn't have. But there's been a lot of inconsistencies, much like this Green Bay team they just faced. The offense is coming alive at the right time. There's going to be, it's Christmas Eve game, so there's going to be a lot of attention on it. They know what they need to do. They control their own destiny. I don't want to say this is reminiscent of 2020 because I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but they're going on a mini run here, and I think that they can get by Jacksonville and they can get by the Saints at home and win against a hapless Carolina team, and end this season on a nice six game win streak to get 10-7. It's going to take a team effort again. Obviously, Canales is going to have to continue dialing up what he's done, but this Jaguars defense, they've let up a lot of plays, and the offense is starting to find their groove. The defense is just limiting plays, the big plays. They're out Christian Kirk, one of their biggest big play guys. They still got Calvin Ridley and a couple other guys that can beat you, and Zay Jones, and Travis Etienne as well. But they play sound defense, and the offense can pick up where they left off the last couple of games. I think that this is a very winnable matchup for them. And we get the return of the red jerseys for the first time this year.
Oh, that's right. The red jerseys.
There you go.
Christmas is here. All right, JC, tell everybody how they can get your great content, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find all my work over at Sports Illustrated Bucks Game Day. I'm on there. You can find me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at JC Allen NFL. And Pirate Parlay, my podcast, got Shaq on coming on today. So it drops at 2:00.
Nice. Pirate Parlay. I love Pirate Parlay. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk to us.
All right.
JC Allen, Pirate Parlay. Yeah, I like what he did there.
That's good. Very good.
All right, what a show we had here today, man. That was a eclectic show. We had Jake Paul on. We had our great friend Bobby the Chief Taylor. We had Christmas boat parade stuff. We got all kinds of stuff. That was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. You had Jay Buck on telling the story about
Jay Buck.
Mike Evans. Yeah, good
Great
stuff.
job. Great job, Peter Blake. We'll be doing a post game. We doing a post game show on Christmas Eve?
Oh yeah, we're doing a post game show.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean it's 4:05, so I mean
let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Santa Claus will be coming over Raymond James Stadium, and we'll be doing the post game show. Let's freaking go. All right.
Yeah.
I'm in. Ho ho ho. I'll bring the elf costume.
There you go. I dare you to wear the elf costume to the press box. I dare you. I double dare you.
That's a no. That'll be a no for me. All right. All right. Merry Christmas to all you rotten bastards out there. We'll have to go get your last minute shopping done at the Golden Diamond Source. We'll see you tomorrow.